Good morning, everybody, whoever may be watching this video, wherever you are at in the world. Hello, and I am sending you all my love. My name is Carly. If you guys don't know, if you have never been to my channel, and I am just sitting in my bed with the messiest hair. And this morning I woke up at 6 a.m. and I was reading through the news because Twitter often is the best way to receive information, good or bad. And my heart was moved, and I felt like I felt inspired to make this video, and I have no idea why. I'm not saying that I am intelligent or that I am an expert on foreign policy or I have the answer to gun control or that I'm even this most patriotic American who understands everything that our government has and believes in and makes stands on. All I'm saying is I am an individual with thoughts and feelings, and I think that one thing that I'm good at is exercising empathy and understanding for others. And if you're watching this and you're like, well, this girl's full of drama, she's talking about her emotions and the government and gun control, I'm not watching this, I would encourage you to keep watching because maybe your opinion could matter and maybe it could make a difference. I made a post this morning about the incident that happened in Oregon. There was a shooting at a university and a young man decided to take the lives of people merely for the way that they live their lives or for the things that they believed in. And the hardest thing about being on the interwebs and being social and connecting with other people and having an audience is often I feel like I'm a representative of that I'm an expert or that I know more than other people, and I'm never trying to claim that. All I'm trying to do is to use my social media as a place to share my life, and hopefully when I'm honest and vulnerable and willing to do that, put myself out there in hopes that it may it may help somebody else or change their lives for the better. And not because I have done anything miraculous or that I'm a hero or that I'm anything great. I'm just a girl trying to do the best that she can, and that I'm willing to be honest and admit my mistakes and share with you the strengths that I've witnessed through being humble and learning to grow from my past and things that I haven't done correctly. So I have a hard time because on social media, I get fearful that I don't want to highlight something that doesn't deserve to be highlighted, and I'm not trying to give more attention to such a negative thing. I just think that awareness and creating this energy of a healthy community and a healthy debate can be good, and it can cause change in the world. You know, I'm just one person, but if all of you who are watching this video take a stand to open your heart a little bit more and to make a change for the better, it could be a rippling effect, and it could change so many people and have such a great effect that maybe we are just in a small town, single moms trying to live the dream and get married and have more babies, and maybe one of us can do something that's potentially going to, be greater than whatever, awesome selfies or outfit posts or those things that Cooper's talking about. So with all that rant going on, some of you are probably like, where is she going with this? I get fearful that I come across that I'm trying to be something that I'm not. All I'm trying to do is to be honest, and maybe I'm just making this video for myself. All I know is I was laying in bed, and after I had made a post about my thoughts and feelings about what had happened in Oregon, I'm looking at my phone. I'm not trying to not pay attention to you guys. Reading through your guys' comments, you guys inspired me, and I just felt distinctly that I should make a video and share my thoughts, and even if it just helps one of you, it helps one of you. So I made a post on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you guys don't follow me, you can find me on Instagram or Facebook at CarlieStylez, CarlieStylez. This is what my post looks like, and this is what I said. But the one thing that I regret is sometimes I emotionally make decisions. I'm a woman, weird. And because I feel like, there are more people feeding into my feed, maybe more than your feed, it's really helped me, and I'm grateful because you guys have shown me and taught me how to think outside the box and to think of the bigger picture that often I don't think that I would have understood or seen. There's a lot of comments that I read today that I was like, I never thought of that point, or I never really realized that. And I'm grateful because I think that I have a willingness to change if it's improving my life or not infringing upon my core beliefs. And a lot of us don't take the time to really think about other human beings and having empathy from where they come from. I'm reading this incredible book by Renee Brown. It's down on my floor. It's called Rising Strong. And she talks about in this book, if you guys haven't read this book, it would change your life. It will change anybody's life. Everybody could read this book and it will do something for them in a positive way that you won't even realize.
Want me
and
to get
it's
it for you?
Yeah, we grab it. It's one of those books that I'm going to read cover to cover over and over and over until I feel like I have it memorized because it is that powerful. And she talks about really the core issue of wanting and understanding what it is to be vulnerable with who you really are and your emotions. Nope. Under that the beanie. And one of the parts of the book, she talks about how there's a circumstance where she was frustrated at another individual, and her counselor, her therapist, challenged her she said, do you really think that that person was doing the best that they could? And of course, when we're offended, someone flips us off in traffic or cuts us off in the McDonald's line, like happened to me the other day, you get offended and you get hurt, and your instant reaction usually and habit is to be upset with somebody and to, oh, they're such a jerk, they cut me off. When in reality, we should ask ourselves, do you think that that person is really doing the best that they are? And then think about it like this. Is that person doing the best that they are, given the tools they have and the circumstances in which they have been exposed to? Meaning, my thoughts and my ideas have grown and changed drastically over the 4 years because of the internet. I'm a small town girl from Pocatello, Idaho, where the community I live in and come from is very saturated in a specific way of living. And for a long time, it was hard for me to understand why other people lived a different way that I lived, not thinking they were bad people, but I just didn't understand it. And then as I've moved around the world and had some life experiences and gained more tools, it's really helped me to have a broader view on who I am, accepting myself for my flaws and strengths as well as others. And this book, I think Renee Brown really hits it on the head when she said, it would change our lives if we could really look at others and give them credit and practice exercising empathy rather than judgment. Meaning, this lady the other day in the McDonald's line, I was getting Cooper some lunch, she just cut me off and I was like, ooh, that was so rude. And I instantly practiced this bad habit of being upset with her and mad. And then I reflected back on the book later on that day when I was like, it's not a big deal.
Had a bad day.
And what did I say?
She could have had a bad day.
I said, you know what? Here I am in front of my 7-year-old. I have a chance to be an example. And instead of doing the good, virtuous, strong mom thing, I did the human, I'm imperfect thing and assume the worst without really giving her empathy and thinking, maybe she just found out that her husband cheated on her, or that her mom has cancer, or she lost her job, or really just taking time to give her empathy. And maybe this person, whoever it is in your life, is just a bad person and they just want to exercise treating you poorly. But guess what? It is only going to improve your way of living when you have empathy for others. Whether you forgive somebody because they deserve it or not, it is only going to free your heart and your soul and your mind and just make the way you live feel more positive. And not that life is rainbows and butterflies, because there's hard things that happen to us, and I think it's also unhealthy to not practice emotions and to go through being angry and sad, but you need to learn to do those in a healthy way. Anyways, back to this post and keeping this book in mind, this kind of trying to cross two topics at one time. I'm going to read to you what I wrote, and before you get to your judgments and what you want to say and your debates and your arguments with my post, realize that I understand that I should have worded some of this differently, and reading through your comments helped me to gain empathy and a better perspective, and I want to make a new post now because of it, and I feel enlightened, and I'm grateful for you guys for that. But I wrote, and remember, this is what I posted an hour ago. This is now, and now I would have posted it differently. I said, it's getting harder and harder to be a Christian these days, especially when it comes time to stand for what you believe in. It's sad that America has come to this place of living in fear when we used to celebrate land of the free. My thoughts are constantly changing about our government as well as our political system and practices on gun control. Obama stated, mass shootings have become routine in America. A mass shooting is classified as an incident of 4 or more people being inflicted or killed by guns. This attack brought the mass murders in America this year up to a sickening number high of 294. Now, if a mass murder is at least categorizing 4 people or more, and you multiply that by 294, the numbers are numbing. Is this a gun control issue? Question mark. Or was this individual sick? Question mark. Why would he wantonly murder so many innocent people? Question mark. Or is this an issue of our cultural psyche here in America? Question mark. I am so moved by these individuals held at gunpoint, threatened by their beliefs. If they stated that they were a Christian, they were shot in the head. If they didn't answer or said no, they were shot in the legs. One by one, the assaulter picked them off when the victims confirmed their beliefs. How easy would it have been to change your answer, given seeing the murders happening right in front of your face? How heartbreaking is it to be in that situation? And let me clarify, I hold no judgment to anyone if they said no or changed their answer, because honestly, I don't know if I could have done it. I don't know what I would have said. My pride in humanity dwindles as I feel Satan is taking his presence in the hearts of so many. I am proud to be a Christian woman, and today my faith was challenged as I contemplated what my answer would have been faced in that situation, held at gunpoint. It's hard not to let my tears of pain be confused with my tears of conversion as my heart admires their incredible faith and strength. God bless this world, and my heart just goes out to everyone who's suffering today worldwide. So if I could repost this post, I would go back and say it's getting harder and harder to believe in what you believe in these days. A lot of people in the comments were arguing that Christianity rules our government and that Christians can't play the role or the victim role because there's been past incidences where Christianity kind of did the same type of thing. If you weren't a believer in the same things that, Christians believed in, then you were burned at the stake or murdered or you were an outcast. And it was hurtful for me to read these comments because while I understand that, and this is hard for me because I'm also a religious woman, but I don't believe that any one belief should be categorized as right or wrong. If, and this is the if it is growing you to be a better human being and it is not inflicting damage or harm to the way any other person around you is living, if that makes sense. So reading again more through the comments, there were, I felt bad because I wasn't trying to say that this one incident that happened to these people who believe in God is more important than what's happening to the refugees in Syria, or to the Muslims who are being bombed and shot, or to the Jews who were mass murdered by, I'm not, and that makes me feel so bad that, that I posted this, because if I could post several posts about everybody who's being discriminated against, we would be sitting here dwelling on so much negativity. For some reason, I just felt moved by this particular story, maybe because I do relate to it because I am a Christian and I believe in God, and maybe it made me think, if I were to be held, a gun to be held to my head, and the shooter was saying, "Do you believe in God?" I don't know what I would have said, and it scared me a little bit. It scared me to think, what do I believe in? The first thing that comes to my mind is Cooper, and being a mom, and Jackson, and my fiance, and the life that I've imagined. Would my religion and my faith truly in my heart enough to say, yes, I am a believer, and willing to take that chance that he would shoot me for what I believe in? I think that's admirable. I think it's admirable when anybody stands up for what they believe in, no matter what it is. Even if you are an atheist and you don't believe in God, maybe there's been a Christian, someone who believes in God who discriminates against you because you are atheist and you don't believe him, and they treat you wrong and they're mean to you. That's also not right. I'm not saying that one way is more right or more godly than another. I truly believe that this world was created for all of us to have opportunity and growth and experience, and that is really just common sense. Why do you think that we're here on earth? Some of us want to gain a degree, a really great job, a family. I think that all of that just goes to show that all of us human beings want to be happy. We want to be accepted. We want to feel good about who we are wherever we stand, no matter what we believe in. And so our whole opportunity for this world is just to be our very best selves, no matter what it is that we believe in. And so when it comes to religion, it gets very personal because often I hate that you have a basket of apples, and just because there's 5 or 6 or maybe even 90% of that basket of apples are bad, rotten apples, it doesn't mean that apples in general are bad for you, right? It doesn't mean that apples in general are a fruit we should avoid, because that's not true. And I think that it's getting harder and harder to see through the clarity in religion these days, especially organized religion, to see people for who they really are. Just because you're a Muslim doesn't mean that you support ISIS or whatever. Or just because you're a Christian doesn't mean that you don't accept people who don't believe in God or whatever. I don't think that it's fair to classify an entire group of people under one roof just because there are 90% of them are bad. We need to practice looking at people as individuals for who they are and for the fruits of their labor. Meaning, if you're a good person, you will have good fruits of your labor. You will produce good in the world, whether you're an atheist or not. There was the sweetest comment on my Instagram, and it made me feel so good to read this because it just goes to show that good human beings who have good hearts can really love and accept everybody for who they are, no matter what they believe in or where they come from. And I just wish so badly that the world had more understanding and love and empathy. I don't care what you believe in. I don't care if you're an atheist. I don't care if you believe in the boogeyman as your higher power. I should care about washing my hair is what I should care about. I care that we all have the right to live in peace no matter what we believe in, and that we can send our kids to school and not have to be worried that there's going to be an attack. And then that's just tapping into a whole other issue. Like I said before, I don't have the answers. I don't know if gun control is the answer. I don't know if we need a larger budget for having a better healthcare system for individuals to get help, or for more people to help to be able to recognize people who are suffering from these disabilities. A greater part in me wants to believe that, and this is only because of how I was raised, I also think that that plays a great part in people's lives, is the way they were nurtured and natured. I grew up with guns in my house, and I don't have the desire to go out and shoot anybody, no matter how mad they make me. I don't have the desire to go shoot somebody in the head because they don't agree with what I believe in. Gun control is a hard thing for me because my father is a hunter, and I don't know, I'm so upset. But he's a good man, and he would never support any one of us kids acting violently in our home. We weren't even allowed to use toy guns and pretend to shoot one another because my dad didn't agree with that. That's not how we were raised. You pointed a gun at an animal, or my thing with Cooper is you can put your fake guns at zombies or animals, but never at a person, no matter what. And so that's hard for me when the whole gun control issue comes up, because part of me, the way I was nurtured and raised by a good, healthy human being who understands the logic that guns don't kill people. People kill people. But in America, it's kind of deterring me from that, because now I'm like, well, we don't have the best gun control in America, and look how many masses of murders there are, and shootings, and at schools and malls, and then in the UK and in Australia, the numbers aren't as high. When you do your research, the numbers just aren't as high. But then it's like that whole prohibition era, like when they outlawed alcohol, there were still people who went and got alcohol and had, those underground, and it encouraged so much violence because the government said, no, don't do this. People still were going to do it. And then it started gangs. And I mean, like I said, I'm not an expert on foreign policy. Jackson is brilliant when it comes to this, and he has educated me so much, and I wish he was here because he could also practice his thoughts. And we've even gotten in arguments about this because of the way that I was raised. Again, my grandfather was a fighter pilot in World War II, and my dad served in the army, and so I feel like I've always been like, I'm a patriot, And one time Jackson's like, I'm not a patriot. It broke my heart because I just saw my grandfather's face and my dad's face. But the more I had empathy and saw Jackson's point of view and where America's leading, the more I started to understand, what is a patriot anymore? What does it even mean? And I just think, honestly, this probably sounds like a very Miss America answer, but maybe those girls are onto something. World peace for everybody. And I think that would seriously stem from and come from all of us human beings, no matter what color, race, religion, where walk of life you've come from. If we all really focused more on ourselves and not in a narcissistic way, but in just being our best selves and looking to others with empathy, and like I said in this book, learning to look at others and say, hey, is that person doing the best they can given the circumstances that they've been exposed to and the tools they've been given, how they were nurtured and natured? Are they doing the best that they can? And I think that positively assuming so would just put an energy out into this world. And that's what makes me think that if there are people who are truly sick, who have chemical imbalances and problems, that are just, that's the trials they've been dealt with in their life, is they're mentally sick. We need better health care. We need a stronger system to support that and to be able to get individuals the help that they need. I didn't even read that girl's comment that I had brought up because I started crying and I got off track. But basically, she said, I understand what you are feeling. It's not only you. I'm a Muslim, and believe me, it's hard seeing my brothers and sisters in places like Syria and Palestine being bombed and shot to death every day. Being a Muslim is not easy too, but I always remember that God gave us a religion to teach people, and we are lucky that we can turn to Him when in need, as He is the one that will hear our prayer. I hope that one day there is peace in this world. Love and prayers, CarlieStylez. And I just want to hug her because even though that her and I come from totally different belief systems in a sense, maybe not totally different, there's a lot of overlapping values I think that we have. I think it's great when an atheist and I can have a conversation and it's healthy because I'm not there. Anytime you try to call names or rip others down and you feel it inside of you, it's an anger. And it's not confused with passion. It's you wanting to prove someone wrong and make them feel bad because you think that your way is the higher way. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but until you are changing things that are happening in the world, such as shootings and mass murders, your way isn't the higher way. I think what Gandhi said, and I hope it's Gandhi who said this, he said the only way to change the world is by changing yourself, and I believe that wholeheartedly. And so I am challenging you and asking you to do that today. To learn, to go buy this book. And Brene Brown, if she ever saw this video, I would be I want to hug her. This woman is brilliant. She has challenged the way that I think and relate to others and how I deal with communication and problems. And I'm only halfway through, but this book is amazing. If you guys go pick this book up today and you read it, I want to hear what your experience is with it. It has changed my life. It has changed the way that I look at others. And I think that given this terrible situation and terrible situations that are happening every single day across the world, I think that it gives us an opportunity. I'm not trying to highlight the shooter, and I know some people were hurt. I'm not trying to do that, and I'm sorry if you felt like I was doing that. Like some people said, we should be highlighting the heroes who attacked this man without backup minutes after the shooting started. But how do you put a stop to that? How do you change it? How do you prevent it futuristically from happening? These things to keep repeating themselves. Is it by the president that we choose to have here in America? Is it by gun control? Is it by healthcare? I don't know. Those issues are so huge and they are at the top of the chain, and I don't think that necessarily one answer is more correct than the others, because there could be a debate about that for forever. And like I said, I feel torn about all the issues. But I do think that the only way to get to the top is by climbing the smaller steps, like this, to the top. And that starts, like I said, starting from changing within ourselves. Do something good for the world today. Do something that makes you feel uncomfortable because it doesn't feel natural. Open the door for somebody. Wave at a neighbor. Go stop by somebody's house, and it's fall here, so I don't know wherever you're at. Rake their leaves. Take out their garbage. Give them $5. Make them a treat. Serving implements kindness. It implements growth and change. That has nothing to do with God or what we believe in. Just being a nice human being that practices having manners and empathy and love is only going to spread that energy out into the world. And I'm a big believer of, sometimes I'm like, maybe I should be a hippie and a naturalist, because, and it comes back to that Miss America answer, peace and love for everyone. But I really am a strong believer, and I've seen it come full circle in my life many times, that what you put out into the world is what you're going to get back. And what goes around comes around. And like my brother Shay says, the secrets to life are hidden behind the cliches, and I believe that. So back to my post, I'm not trying to discount any specific religion as being more important or unimportant with the circumstances that have happened to you if you've been segregated, discriminated, persecuted against. Everybody has value. The Jews have value. The atheists have value. The Mormons have value. The Christians have value. Anybody that has a life has value, and this may cause a lot of hate and debate, but I even think the shooter has value. His life has value, because guess what? He has a mom, I'm sure, and a dad, I'm sure of, and I can't imagine the pain as a parent that you would experience to know that your child was suffering that much, either emotionally, spiritually, physically, whatever, that he was challenged at such a place in his life where he thought that killing people was the answer. I can't even, as a mom, it's my biggest fear, like when Cooper's playing toy guns, and this is, I'm not trying to make light of it, but often he'll be, or even like hangers or toy guys, and he's battling with them. Sometimes I sit there and think, what is going through his mind? What environment am I supporting where he's being nurtured or natured in a way where he's having fun battling? And then part of me is like, he's a child. There's a beautiful thing about children being innocent and an innocence that they carry. But then there's also that relationship and those habits that we make at a young age that carry on throughout our lives. And so often I'll say, hey, when you play like that, how does that make you feel? And I just really try to walk him through expressing his emotions and his really focusing on paying attention to his feelings and being vulnerable with the way you're experiencing emotion. And I'll even say, does that make you feel like you want to kill somebody? And he'll look at me like I'm the craziest and say, Mom. And I'm not even trying to connect that thought with kids who play with guns or toys or video games are more likely to kill people than other people, because I'm not saying that, because I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Like I said, I don't have the answers. All I know is I could do the best that I can, and I'm constantly worried about raising a healthy young man who will leave something good in this world and being a better person than I was yesterday. I'm not an expert. I'm not the best example of a Christian woman. I have gone through hard times and good times, but I know that I keep trying, and I know that I have a willingness to have an open heart and an open mind. And like I told you guys, I don't know why I felt inspired to share this video, but I literally felt something push me to roll out of my bed, run into the bathroom, throw on a little bit of foundation, and moderately pull up my hair. This is day 6 of not washing my hair. Jackson's not here, so there may be flies flying around my head. But I just felt like I needed to get my thoughts out into the world and to put my heart down. And if I get a lot of hate on this video or not, I just know that I'm trying to do the best that I can to follow my heart and to be the best me. And so I'm encouraging you guys to do that. Like I said, go pick up this book. I love it with all my heart. I need to shave my armpits. They were bad, you guys. They were really bad. But I appreciate those of you who have been positive and supportive. I'm not looking for, you don't have to agree with me, but you also don't have to call me names or put me down if you don't agree with me. And that's one thing that's hard for me. The world doesn't need any more judgment or hate or persecution or negativity. Instead of doing that, try to not practice anger. Did you know this? Did you know this? Anger is a secondary emotion. So, back to this book. And this is something I've learned before I started reading this book, but after I connected the thoughts, it makes sense. We weren't intended as human beings, and this is not by God, this is psychologically. We were not intended as humans to practice feeling anger as our first response. It is a secondary emotion. Usually when we feel anger, it's because it's coming from a deeper place. We're hurt, we're insecure, we feel attacked or victimized, we feel vulnerable, and often those feelings are insecure. Those feelings are hard and uncomfortable to experience. So rather than feeling those ways, we've gotten into the habit of just being angry or mad. And so rather than being mad or angry, I would challenge you to dig a little deeper and to think, why do I feel this way? Why is this lady who cut me off at McDonald's making me feel mad. Is it that big of a deal if she gets her Big Mac before I do? No, I should probably not even be eating at McDonald's because it's probably not the best choice for me. So that would just be my thoughts and my encouragement for you guys. This is a 30-minute vlog of me just ranting, but sometimes you just need to put your thoughts out there and to do your best to help grow this world, because we all know that it needs a little more love, a little more understanding, a little more empathy. And like I said, the only way to get to the top and to change the entire world is by changing the small circumstances that we can control, and that is ourselves. I'm going to leave below in the description box my thoughts and my beliefs of a website where it's the way that I live my life. It has helped me to become the best me that I am through failing at it or not. I know that what we practice, our faith, has changed who I want to be and how I want to love others. And what do you have to say?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Just inviting you.
You just want to. Sometimes you just need a day where you need to lay by somebody you love, huh? Do you have any advice for the world? If the whole world was watching this.
Well, if you're rude to someone and you want to be rude to them back, don't be, because then you're a hypocrite.
Oh, what a good word, Knuckles. Cooper just had parent-teacher conference, and his teacher said, one thing I really admire about your little boy is his willingness and understanding and showing empathy for other students. She said it's really rare when you see that. She said, but Cooper is always concerned about his friends and classmates, and if they did good on a test, he'll be the first to say, oh, you got 100, good job. Or if somebody gets hurt, he's always the first to say, hey man, are you okay? And I think that that is so awesome, and I'm very, very proud of you. I love you. You're a very good boy.
It seems only one problem.
What?
My hair's messed up.
Look at my hair. Smell it. I haven't washed it for 6 days.
It smells good.
It does? It's not stinky? Anyways, we could go on and talk about this forever. I didn't mean, this has kind of gotten a little bit light. I didn't mean to take away from the seriousness of anything. Bottom line is a life, and every life holds value, no matter what. So love the world, love yourself, be the best you can be.
Everybody.
Yes, I love that. Over and out.